Morning, all faiths. Good morning. Are you hearing me well? Okay, good, good. Good to see you all this morning. And as you can see, I'm in a different position today because we have an outstanding speaker who's going to share with us today. I am excited to hear from him. And in a few minutes, you all too will hear from him. So let me get to my regular business that we say in the morning on Sunday mornings. For those of you who do not know who I am, my name is Alberita Johnson. Most people call me Albie, and I am the minister here at All Faiths Unitarian Congregation. Technology. I talked already, and it went black. So now, here we go. I hear y'all. The presence of the Lord is here. Surprise, surprise. I know you Unitarian Universalists like, uh-oh. Christian service. Calm yourselves. We got other things lined up for you next month. But this is Black History Month, and if there's anything that you should know, is that most African Americans are Christian. We may not be the kind of Christians that you think we are, but for some reason, that's where we have fallen. And so, it is very important to many of us, and probably for some of you who are still following your Christian faith, it is okay, because this is Unitarian Universalism. And Unitarian Universalism, we have Christians, we have Jews, we have Hindus, we have pagans. Ooh, scary. Right, they may actually love that tree more than you. The whole point is that we can all get together regularly and respect one another's differences and beliefs, and no one is getting in a fight. And if we could do this here, we might actually be able to duplicate it when we leave these doors, because you all have influence. Every time you speak and you say something, you're releasing your influence upon people. So share. It's okay. All right, so here at All Faiths, you will find a diverse and inclusive spiritual community where we welcome people with many beliefs, as I've said. You can bring your whole self or a little bit of you. Whatever you want to bring your full identity, your questioning mind, and your expansive heart. Because here at All Faiths, we have more than one way of experiencing the world and understanding what many like to call the sacred. So no matter who you are, wherever you are on your spiritual journey, and no matter whom you love, you are truly welcome here. Is anyone visiting with us for the first or second time? Please raise your hand. Oh, and welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome, welcome. So, now that you're here, we'd like you to remember that this is a welcoming congregation, and by welcoming, that also means that welcoming means that we welcome the LGB, and yes, I'm going to say T, because the T has suddenly been erased, like they're trying to erase me. However, we welcome all of you. Bring your whole self and your full identity. We love who you are and your identity. So please come on. If you would like to learn a little bit more about All Faiths and Unitarian Universalism, you can see one of our membership co-chairs, Carol Latino or Dottie Mayo, over in our welcome corner at the table just to my left and your right. Okay, so that takes care of that. On to announcements. The big one, the number one, silence cell phones. Let me see you busy doing it. No, yeah, because yesterday I announced it and somebody's phone just started going. So I'll say it again. If you have a device that makes a noise, please do silence it for the service. We really appreciate it. Thank you. Now, there are some very important things about to happen next week, Saturday and Sunday. Cape Coral Pride. We are the #1 sponsor for Cape Coral Pride. Because of Julie and Patty and 2 other couples, we have contributed $10,000 to Cape Coral Pride. That's right. We deserve to give them a hand, but more than that, you need to show up. When is Cape Coral Pride? Next week, Saturday. So go on over to Cape Coral Pride and participate. It's an all-day affair. We have VIP tickets, VIP food, VIP stand under the tent, VIP everything, and you'll see All Faith signs all over the place supporting it. And it would look really poor if we were not there. Sunday, yes, Sunday there will be a Sunday brunch and things of that nature. But mainly we will have a vendor table there on Saturday, and we don't want just one person to be trapped at the table because that's how they'll feel. So come on out and support not just All Faiths, but the LGBT community, and we would definitely appreciate it. It means a great deal. And obviously, we as a congregation have invested in it financially, but there's nothing like people power. So, people, bring your power and show up. It'll make a big difference. We'll be so pleased about it. I was told to make sure that I stress that, so I gave you a good stress. You can sign up on the bulletin board where you want to be. You want to set up table, break down table, sit at table, whatever it is that you want to do, find your space on the bulletin board and show up. It'll make a big difference. Thank you so very much. Okay, there are many opportunities to get involved here at All Faiths. You will find a lot of other information on the bulletin board for you to sign up and get involved.
Good morning. Gathering song, Enter, Rejoice, and Come In, number 361. Please rise in body or spirit as we sing number 361, Enter, Rejoice, and Come In. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Open your ears to the song. Open your ears to the song. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Open your hearts, everyone. Open your hearts, everyone. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Don't be afraid of some change. Don't be afraid of some change. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in.
I realized that I forgot to choose a chalice lighter. So I will choose my sweetheart, Carol Latino. Come on, Carol. For those of you who do not know, this is my sweetheart. I love her dearly. Come, baby. I'm stand right here. Just one moment. So we've been here at All Faiths for about 2 years now, and we absolutely love it. We've been together for how many years? 10. 10 years we have been together, and we have gone through many ups and downs. But I can tell you, here at All Faiths, it's a wonderful, wonderful place to be. We feel so embraced and grateful. So as our chalice lighter, Carol Latino, is here to light our chalice, I would like you all to please recite the words in your order of service: a golden thread,
Dancing through the darkest night, a beacon of hope, a guiding star, light illuminating near and far.
and now our little ones. Sharon Heinrich is our Children and Youth Program Director. Do you want to go with them? You sure? They have fun. And the singing is not to the end. Go now in peace, go now in peace. May the spirit of love surround you everywhere, everywhere you may go. It's now time for us to focus not just on what's happening up here, what I'm saying, but also to let us know that this is a spiritual community where we find and forge many connections. We trust in the strength of our mutual support, and we know that it sustains us day after day and year after year. Sometimes we have joy, sometimes we have sorrows, and sometimes we have gratitude. This is the time now that you are invited to come up and kindle a flame and briefly share your joy, sorrows, and gratitude with us. Won't you come? Carol.
Don't mean to hog the stage today, but I have a joy and a sorrow. My sorrow is my nephew passed last week, the 12th of February, and he was only 50. He had a lot of life to go, but it was his time. So that's my sorrow.
And your joy?
My joy is thank you all for your comforting words, your prayers, your texts, your letters, your cards. It's been overwhelming and it's been very appreciated. Definitely. Times like this, you feel the loving community we have, and I appreciate you all. John.
For John.
For John, may you rest in peace, no more pain.
No more pain. Amen. Barbara.
Hi, I'm Barb McFarland. I have a gratitude and a joy to announce. Robert Bennett has agreed to step up and lead the homeless team.
Whoa!
So after 7 years, it will continue.
Yay! Tina.
I have a joy and a gratitude. And in these times, we take them where we find them. And I had the unbelievable pleasure of stepping out onto my back porch and just outside the shadow of the cypress head, I saw a newborn fawn get to its feet, and the mother guide it to nurse and lick it off. In everything that's going on, we need to remember what is really, really important.
Absolutely.
Thank you for letting me share that.
Thank you, Tina. Thank you, Tina. Life continues.
And she didn't need my help.
Exactly. Frank.
Yes, I'm Frank. Visuality is the local LGBTQ community organization, and I went to their yearly gala this year and bid on, they had silent auction, and I looked to see what had no bids on it, and what I got was the Naples Botanical Garden.
Oh.
It included a year membership. And then finally, me and Wayne and Doug went yesterday, and my membership gives me my entrance for free and 3 other people's entrance.
Oh.
So I'm asking you, anybody who wants to go, just give me a holler. We will sit down, we'll get our calendars out, we'll find a day, and it'll get to be time for me to meet and spend some time with you, and we can use my membership.
All right, all right.
One more.
Oh, okay.
And last Sunday, I was my little brain wasn't working, and I acted inappropriately.
Oh, baby. It's okay.
But I worried about it. I got here today. Nothing but patience and love. Thank you so much.
I know all face, we are just so perfect, but every once in a while, something happens that's not perfect. Frank is away. We still love you much. Joan.
I'm Joan Marshall, and I am very happy today. My son, Cole, who's seated over here.
Hey, Cole.
He flew down from New York so that we could celebrate his birthday with him.
Oh.
And so happy birthday, Cole. Yeah.
Sing, Mama, sing.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Cole. Happy birthday to you.
birthday. Pam, come on up.
Yesterday was Beth's celebration of life, and I wanted to thank Albie, and I wanted to thank many of you who came and participated in that. It meant a lot. The memories you shared are what I will keep in my heart forever. Thank you.
There you go. Louis?
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm Louis Robinson, a member of the board and a member of all of the justice teams. I want to thank you for your support of the justice teams. And if you saw the news yesterday, the day before, in the news press, hunger is a crisis. Okay. I want to ask you to please step up and continue your support of Harry Chapin and all the soup kitchens or pantries in our county. Also support of the unhoused. The report was that Collier County has about 1/4. We have over 2,000 homeless people. The count isn't complete yet in our county. Please step up. The crisis is serious. Thank you.
Thank you, Louis. Thank you. I will light this candle. Don't forget, some of us are fortunate. There's also people who are not as fortunate. If you can help, help.
Today is the day that should be the 15th
This would be
anniversary.
Ken.
Oh, sorry. Today's the day that should be the 15th anniversary to my wife Cindy, and I still miss her very much. She passed away 3 years ago. So
Oh,
anyway.
I'm so sorry. Light the candle for her. For Cindy.
This is a challenge sometimes. Let me try a different candle.
Okay. There you go. Perfect, perfect. For Cindy. Sharon. Now, Sharon is the one who makes sure that our recordings come out okay. I've been told to hold still. Stop that moving.
I'm Sharon Gray, and I just wanted to light a candle in memorial of a man who spoke real, true words to power, and 60 years ago was assassinated. Malcolm X.
To the X-Man. What's that famous phrase he says? By any means necessary. Don't mess around with Malcolm. By any means necessary. Well, light that in your heart. We're running out of little candles. This is my brother, Charlie.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, good morning. I'd just like to say a few things. I'm overwhelmed when I come here. Each time I come down to visit, I see smiling faces, I'm accepted, and I have so much joy of being here and pleasure. And I'd like to give a big thank you to my sister and to my other sister that's there, you know, and I love them so dearly. I'm very appreciative of them. And by the way, her birthday's a day before my birthday. Darn it. But that's okay. That's okay.
Because he's got me beat by 5 years.
I got to beat by 5.
Right, so I'm one day.
I was trying to slip that by.
I wasn't going to let it go. No.
And my mom was the 20th this month, and what a blessing, 98 years old.
Yeah.
98. And still has her wits. Still
Yes, she
has
does.
that brain.
Yes, she does. Right for mommy. And try this one. That one should work. Okay, Shaky. Done. All right. I think that's it. So these candle flames have been lit. We've heard what people have said and how they feel. We shared in some of the joys, we shared in some of the sorrows, and we shared in the gratefulness. And now there may be some people who did not have an opportunity to come up, or for whatever reason did not. And then there are also people who are listening online right now. So I'm going to light this final candle for all of you who did not come up. And for those at home, I light this candle for you all too. May we hold everyone and all of the thoughts and great wishes in our hearts today. Okay, it looks like we are having problems with candles. This is my last try, then just imagine it lit. Okay, it's lit. Okay, so where are we? Oh, time for sound of silence, okay. Patience. Patience is the name of the game. All right. In the unity of the Spirit and the sanctity of this gathering, let us now quiet ourselves as we settle into a meditative moment, a time we can each listen to that still small voice within and prepare our heart and mind for today's service.
Please rise in body or soul as we sing Spirit of Life, number 123, Spirit of Life, number 123. Spirit of life, come unto me, sing in my heart all the streams of compassion, blow in the wind, rise in the sea, move in the hand, giving the shape of justice. Roots hold me close, wings set me free. Spirit of life, come to me, come to me.
People are often unreasonable. That woke you up. Illogical and self-centered. Forgive them anyway. If you are kind, people may accuse you of selfish, ulterior motives. Be kind anyway. If you are successful, you may win some false friends and some true enemies. Succeed anyway. If you are honest and frank, people may cheat you. But be honest and frank anyway. What you spend years building, someone could destroy overnight. Build anyway. If you find serenity and happiness, they may be jealous, but be happy anyway. The good you do today, people often forget tomorrow, but do good anyway. Give the world the best that you have, and it may never be enough. But give the world the best you have anyway. Because you see, in the final analysis, it's between you and the universe. It was never between you and them anyway.
Please rise as we sing our hymn, I Wish I Knew How, number 151. A little change in the order. 151, I Wish I Knew How. I wish I knew how it would feel to be free. I wish I could break all these chains holding me. I wish I could say all these things I could say them loud, say them clear for the whole world to hear. Say them loud, say them clear for the whole world to hear. I wish I could share all the love in my heart. I remove all the bars that still keep us apart. I wish you could know what it means to be free. Then you'll see and agree everyone should be free. Then you'd see and agree everyone should be free. I wish I could give all the longing to give. I wish I could live like I'm longing to live. I wish I could do all the things I can do. Though I'm way overdue, I'd be starting anew. Though I'm way overdue, I'd be starting anew. I wish I could be like a bird in the sky. How sweet it would be, like a found I to the sun and look down at the sea. Then I'd sing, 'cause I know how it feels to be free. Then I'd sing, 'cause I know how it feels to be free.
Beautiful song. Beautiful. Our reading this morning is a poem by Langston Hughes, one of my favorites poets. Langston Hughes has written thousands of poems. This one I'm going to share today is called Mother to Son, and it is written in an old vernacular where you would hear how slaves may have spoken many years before Langston Hughes was born. Here we go. Well, son, I'll tell you. Life for me ain't been no crystal stair.
Well,
It's had tacks in it, and splinters, and boards torn up, and places with no carpet on the floor. Bare. But all the time, I've been climbing on, and reaching landings, and turning corners, and sometimes going in the dark.
well,
Well, there ain't been no light, so boy, don't you turn back.
yes.
Don't you sit down on the steps, 'cause you find it's kind of hard. Don't you fall now, for I still going on, honey. I still climbing, and life for me ain't been no crystal stairs.
Amen to that.
And you could say amen and amen. And like I like to say it, amen and amen and life for me has not been a crystal staircase. You constantly look over your shoulder trying to figure out if you're being perfect enough, if you talk too much, if you tripped over your words, if people are taking notes and looking at their watches. Oh yeah, I see y'all. Just like you see me There's no crystal staircase top stepping up on that one step and standing here every Sunday. Calm yourselves. Calm yourselves. This is a time where we should consider this sacred and safe. Be prepared when you walk in to leave outside behind and come in here and be happy. Because life is not a crystal staircase for any of us. Don't let me get started. We have a song now. It's called Precious Lord. Take My Hand. Many of you are very familiar with this piece. And if you're not, we're going to give it to you anyway. 199, Precious Lord, in your gray hymnal.
Precious Lord, take my hand, lead me on, let me stand. I am tired, I am weak, I am worn. Through the storm, through the night, lead me on to the light. Up here.
Ron Archer, is our speaker today. He is a best-selling author, an NFL consultant, military leadership consultant, and corporate leadership trainer. He was awarded the Martin Luther King Jr. Leadership Award for his work developing the hearts, hands, and habits of third world leaders to transform their nations from chaos to collaboration. Countries like Korea, Singapore, Colombia, and India credit him for his work and their countries to build and improve schools, clinics, business models, and government reforms. We are so very pleased to welcome him today as he shares with us his message, The Sweetness of Blackness. I introduce to some and present to others the Reverend Dr. Ronaldo Archer. Blessings, blessings.
Well, good morning, all faiths. We have come over on different ships, but we're in the same boat now. We had to learn to work together as friends or perish as fools, for a high tide will raise all of our ships. The great German philosopher Hegel said it his way. He said, the truth is not found in a thesis, nor is truth found in the antithesis, but that truth is found in the emergent synthesis that reconciles the two extremes. And it means for us today in the 21st century that none of us can be greater than all of us. There are lessons we can learn from Aristophanes, Euripides, Cleisthenes, and Pericles as they climbed the Acropolis, met at the Parthenon, and started this existential, esoteric thing we call today democracy. An experiment of the people, by the people, and for the people. Many of my friends are despondent, sad, unhappy about the present occupant of the executive mansion. I'm very excited because greatness and light is exposed in the darkest times. I want you to know that all faith, you're like a tea bag. You don't know how strong you are till you put in some hot water. It's true. And what's inside of you, love, acceptance, inclusion, caring for the environment, caring for peace, and the least of these come out in the most difficult, arduous times of tribulation and despair. Dr. King said, the arc of the moral universe is long, but it bends toward justice. This state we're in right now, it is the last kick of a dying mule. Know that. I promise you, in 2 years, the Senate and the Congress will not be the same because people will be sick and tired of insanity speaking like a blind man in a dark room chasing black cats that simply are not there. I'm excited because my son, Christopher, he is a senior officer with the Space Force. He calls me to boldly go and no man has gone before. I said, clean your room. I've written 8 books. My first book I wrote on collaborative innovation using open space technology, affinity diagramming, and appreciative inquiry. My son was about 10 when I wrote it, and he used it as a doorstop to keep the door open in his room. But now that he's an officer, he reads it, underlines it, calls me on the phone. So I have been an advisor to Barack Obama in Africa, Buenos Aires, San Ketebu Asante. I've been allowed to take my son on Air Force One. We've gone all kind of places. And so he's now in charge of 1,000 people. And he has this huge conference he's in charge of. And he called me. He said, Pops, I've chosen you to be the speaker for this. I'm putting my career in your hands. I want you to teach them everything you've taught me. I wept. Because I'm not getting paid enough to do it, no. So my son affectionately calls me Baldilocks. I don't know why, but I have a nickname for him. It's called Heredity. But I've learned something for those who have my same affliction. The universe does not put marble tops on cheap furniture, baby. That's right. I said it. You see, the universe only made a few perfect heads. The rest he had to cover in shame. Give me some, baby. Ebony and ivory. Why am I excited? about these challenging times? Why am I motivated and inspired about these moments of tribulation? Because I know how the story ends. I know with certainty where we're headed as a nation. And I speak not from some pedantic nomenclature, academic, intellectual jargon that I read in some prose. I say this from a real experience of being black in America. My family's biracial, German, Wunderbarer Fräulein der Deutschland, and Cuban. What a combination. Gloria a Dios, Jesucristo, Espíritu Santo, mucho gusto. So we would have Wiener Schnitzel with salsa. But life for them was no crystal stair. Black man, Cuban, black Cuban, white German, met in Cleveland, and it was not good in their epoch dispensation of time. A white man called my grandmother a nigger lover. My grandfather, being a huge, burly sugarcane worker, took his fist, went back to Alabama, came up through Mississippi, took a shortcut to Pennsylvania, and hit the man's jaw and broke his neck. Went to the worst prison in Ohio called Mansfield Reformatory. How many ever seen the movie Shawshank Redemption? It's made in my grandfather's prison. Grandma got cancer, lost half her face, lost her eye. Family lost everything. Evicted to live in the streets. They said to her, you want to be with a black man, we're going to treat you like a black woman. Uncles got hooked on heroin at 12 and 10. And mom had me at 16 on a wooden floor in an abandoned house. 8th grade education. I was born premature, so I had all kinds of medical problems. Ears and nose didn't connect right, pneumonia almost every month, ear infections, stuttered severely, bedwetter, raped with a broomstick by a babysitter. Let me tell you something, when you get sexually molested as a child, you learn 4 things. Don't talk, don't trust, don't feel, and try your hardest to pretend it's not happening to you. So I felt as a young boy like a mannequin. I looked normal. I talked normal. I dressed normal, but I was hollow. I come from the gutter. I come from the sewers. I come from a drug addiction environment, prostitution, degradation. So why am I so excited? Because I've seen the worst that there is to offer. My nose was broken in a fight in my parents' home, my mom's home. Guns were pulled and shot. Imagine the worst possibilities. I've seen it. And yet I'm as optimistic and as transcendent and as excited as any human being that was ever born on this aqueous solution called Earth. Because in spite of the darkness, in spite of the trans challenges of our time, my mother, with an 8th grade education, knew one thing, that education was the great equalizer. It doesn't matter where you live, where you start. She said, there are no chains on the libraries. The more you know, she said, the more you grow, the more you learn, the more you earn. My mother put stacks of books next to my bed. And I had to read each one and give her a report. Adam Clayton Powell, Thomas Jefferson. You see, I learned that education really starts at home. School is supplemental. You can say amen, sister. And so my mother taught me, with an 8th grade education, living in the projects, the joy and the emancipation of an educated mind. That a book can take you far away from your current reality. A book can open your mind to different universes, possibilities, and existential hopes. And I was a stutterer. But man, I would read those books out loud to myself, and I would overemphasize the consonant sounds because it felt better when I did that. I developed a cadence. I was so afraid to speak in school because they would tease me. His name is Renardo. He is a retardo. He sits on the steeple. When he spits and talks, he slobs in the people. What do you do with pain? Everybody here has a story. Everybody in this room has been through what is called a storm, significant trauma, overwhelming reasonable mind. Not just black, white, gay, lesbian, transgender, everybody has a story. And the one thing I learned through the books that my mom gave me to read is that no matter where you come from, what you've been through, everybody has one thing, a choice. Better or bitter. Climber or quitter. Contender or pretender. You have a choice about the attitude you will have in spite of the circumstance. And my mom said to me, if you get an education, boy, you'll change us all. Because the person on top of the mountain didn't fall there. You got to climb. And I studied the word education in Latin, means educare. It doesn't mean pouring things into people. It means looking at a person, seeing their capabilities, talents, skills, and pulling it out of them so they can see it themselves. That's education. Not pouring something in, but helping to extract the gold, the silver, the diamonds that reside within the deepness and the depth of their very being, and helping them to see it. And I learned about the sweetness of adversity, the sweetness of obstacles, the sweetness of blackness. Serena Williams, who learned how to play tennis in Compton, black tennis player, won Wimbledon, everybody else, French Open, she did it all. Big, powerful, stocky, powerful woman. And she talked about playing with her sister, Serena, on the worst tennis courts with glass, broken bottles, bullies, needles. And her father said, if you can play on this, you'll win Wimbledon. The sweetness of blackness. To understand that all your disadvantages can be your advantages. My hero growing up was this guy who was dyslexic. Dyslexic, yet he wrote poetry. Oh, he struggled academically. But he walked around his school in Louisville, Kentucky, just screaming, I am the greatest. They would say, shut up. He talked so much about being great, they called him the Louisville Lip. Somebody stole his bicycle. He was upset. He was going to beat him up. And so a police officer said, well, if you're going to beat him up, you got to learn how to fight. Went into a gym. He was skinny, wiry. He learned. Oh, he did everything wrong, everything wrong. But his wrong was so wrong, it became right. He would knock you out backing up. He held his guard low. He put his head and said, you can't hit me. He would say, float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. Your hands can't hit what your eyes can't see. He went on to win an Olympic gold medal in Rome in 1960. He brought that medal back to his hometown, Louisville. He was a hero. Everybody loved him. So he went to a restaurant. They said, we don't serve niggers here. After all that I had done. You loved me. I was your hero. But now, nothing has changed. He took that medal and threw it into the Ohio River. He went on to win the Olympic medal, then, of course, heavyweight champion at age 23, shocked the world. And he renamed himself from Cassius Marcellus Clay to Muhammad Ali. And at that time, you didn't do that. You did not defy your masters. What did they do? He was called too dumb to go to the draft to fight in Vietnam. They reclassified him to teach him a lesson. And said, you're going to fight in Vietnam. And he said, no Vietnam ever called me nigger. Well, I'm going to go 8,000 miles to kill other poor brown people like me. On the day of his induction, they called his name Cassius Clay. He refused to step forward. He faced 5 years in jail. He lost, they took his license to box, took his passport, said, all you got to do is comply and just speak around the army and do a few. He said, I'm not going to be an example to other people of color to say it's okay to fight this war. I'm not going. They took his house. They took his title. They took his freedom. And for 3 years, he sat idle. Everything that made him great was gone. The greatest thing about him was his legs. He had beautiful legs. I mean, this man had, and he could move and float. His legs were gone. First thing you lose as an athlete. I played football. Your legs go. He had to reinvent himself. He had to take punches he didn't take before. But he learned about this thing called resiliency. That failure is never final. It's not the falling down. It's the staying down. When life knocks you down, land on your back. If you can look up, you can get up, so don't give up. He did the impossible. He came back after years in exile, and he won the title back. And the Supreme Court ruled on his case 9-0 that he was right. The sweetness of blackness. Move forward to 1996. The American Olympics are held in Atlanta. And the great honor is who's going to light the torch? So many people were thought about too. The family of Dr. King, because he's from Atlanta, and many other great people. So behind the curtain, they're waiting to see who is going to light the Olympic torch. The curtain parts, and there is an old Ali with Parkinson's, unashamed, unafraid, and he walks. The very medal he threw away, he now was an emblem. And he took his shaking hand and he lit the candle and became the most revered, loved, and adored athlete, not in America, but around the world. And when he said at 12, I am the greatest, he became the sweetness of blackness. In spite of my beginnings, went on to earn a PhD. Started a business, made my first $1 million at 28. Put my entire family through school. Mama went to school. Got her master's. My sister got her PhD. Financed it all. Because Mama said, you get an education, you can help us all change. I don't view my color and my experience in any way that's negative. You know why? Because everything we go through in life is a down payment on our destiny. I embrace it. I celebrate it. I thank the universe for it. So how has that changed as I begin to land this plane safely? Five things I want to close with that changed my life. One, you already heard, education. I read so many books, memorized so many things. I developed a photographic memory. Second, mentoring. Someone who knows the way, shows the way, and goes the way. What did Gandhi say? I cannot teach what I do not know. I cannot leave what I'm not willing to go. If I want to see change, it must become the change I expect to see. Somebody mentored me, a Marine. He was my first pastor. He said, I'm not going to show you anything. I'm not going to tell you anything. If you just shut up, keep your nose clean, and watch, you'll be great like me. He said, I know you're poor, but you can keep your shoes shined. Your clothes can be clean. He said, there are few things that you don't need to go to school for. Effort, respect, discipline, hustle, and faith. Mentoring, education, vision. To see what's possible. To see what you can become. To call forth those things that be not as though they were and have the will to make it so. I saw Ali. I saw Ruma Rudolph, who was a handicapped woman who won a gold medal. No excuses. The sweetness of blackness. I also learned what helped me, forgiveness. The woman that molested me with a broomstick. When I was young, I had dreamed of taking a shotgun and shooting her kneecaps. I didn't want to kill her. I wanted her to feel my pain. When I got older in my faith, I saw her. She was homeless. She was broke down, toothless. And I could have just said, see? Look at you now. How you like me now? I hired her in my company. I sent her to school. You know what healing is? When you can look at the past and stop wishing it were different. Embrace the brutal realities and turn your pain into power. And the greatest way you can really demonstrate your spirituality is love those who are unlovable. Then talk to me about your spirituality. Are you black?
Maybe a little on the inside.
But I will tell you, as Dr. King said as I close, we shall overcome because you reap what you sow. No lie can live forever. Truth crushed the earth will rise again. I can tell you from this little black boy's experience and all that I've been through, the best is yet to come. Don't you give up. Don't you turn around. There's light in the tunnel, and what we see now will be transformed into a glorious celebration of a comeback of a nation that refused to accept evil but turned pain into power, wounds into wisdom, and tragedy into triumph. The sweetness of blackness. Goodbye. We mentor fatherless children around the world. It's called From Simba to Mufasa. And I mentor right here in Lee County. And I asked for the most troubled kids. And so they gave me this one black boy who was so broken, catatonic, wouldn't speak. And I kept telling him, the universe says you're good. That's why I'm here. Because you're so good, I can't stay away from you. So I taught him how to speak. He wouldn't speak. How to play football. He was okay. I said, no matter what, universe made you good. So his mother came to pick him up. And he said, Mama, I'm good. She fainted. He hadn't spoken in 5 years. Oh, don't be in despair. One of my mother's favorite poems, written by Maya Angelou, who was the mentor to Oprah Winfrey. And you know it. I'll rise. You may write me down in history with your bitter and twisted lies. You may trod me in the very dirt, but still like dust, I'll rise. Does my sassiness upset you? Why are you beset with gloom? Because I walk like I've got oil wells pumping in my living room. Just like the moons and like suns, with the certainty of tides. Just like the hopes of springling high, still I rise. Do you want to see me broken? Bowed head and lowered eyes. Shoulders falling down like teardrops, weakened by my soulful cries? Does my haughtiness offend you? Don't you take it awful hard. Because I laugh like I got gold mines digging up in my own backyard. You may shoot me with your words. You may cut me with your eyes. You may kill me with your hatefulness, but still like the air, I rise. Does my sexiness upset you? Does it come as a surprise that I dance like I've got diamonds at the meeting of my thighs? Out of the huts of history's shame, I rise. Up from a past rooted in pain, I rise. I'm a black ocean leaping and wide. Welling and swelling, I bear in the tide. Leaving behind the nights of terror and fear, I rise. Into a daybreak that's wondrously clear, I rise. Bringing the gifts that my ancestors gave. I am the dream and the hope of the slave. I rise. I rise. I rise.
Thank you, Reverend Dr. Ronaldo Archer. You have lifted our spirits, told us that we can keep on keeping on, that we could go forward, that we don't have to worry about what's behind us because it's going to stay there. Greatly appreciated. Let us all remember that we will rise from whatever is about to go down in Washington, whatever is happening here in this state of Florida. We will rise, and eventually it will all be behind us. But for now, be encouraged. That's what this is all about. Be encouraged. He could do it. I could do it. So many people of color, so many people, African Americans, that has faced extreme hardship, has risen above. And now there's some people who want to erase us. But just like they wanted to erase us before, we are not going anywhere. This is our country too.
Yes.
We are not leaving. And we will rise. There's nothing to fear. Some people I know think craziness. Well, if they're doing okay, if they're getting, then that means it's taking something from me, which is a big lie. Stop being afraid. You've always been ahead, and we're still climbing. And it's okay. The point is, don't be jealous of nothing. Be happy. Like he said, if we can rejoice, so can our enemies who are so terrified of the pox growing in numbers in this country. Don't be afraid. We haven't hurt you yet, although we have been terribly hurt. Now, we will not do what happened to us. We know the horror of it. That is not our choice or our desire. Remember that when you talk with people who are afraid. Our desire is for peace, joy, and happiness and kindness, and to raise our children where they can have the very best, just like anyone else. That's all we want. Isn't that so? POCs. Some people identify as a person of color, but they don't want to let you know. But I see you. I see you.
Come on now.
I see you. I know. I know the ones who are walking with me, and I know the ones who are gossiping about me when they think I'm not around. But you know how it is. You can hug and stab at the same time. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. And it happens right here in our wonderful community. Stop that nonsense. If you got something to say, you need to come and talk about it. That's how we move forward. That's the end of my little lecture. But it's very important. My door is open. The pulpit is open. You have a message. You have something you want to say. You want me to say it, or you want me to stop saying it. The only way it's going to happen is if you talk to me. Otherwise, I will ignore you. And you don't want that. And I don't either. So, I'm shutting up now. And I want to say it is now time for our wonderful offering. And this is where everybody can take part. I've said this many times. Most of us have a wallet. Most of us have a checkbook. Most of us know how to write a check. And some of us have cash. This is the part where everyone can participate. So get yourselves ready. We appreciate your generous donations and pledges which support our dedicated staff, our beautiful facilities, inspiring services, interesting activities, and, of course, our social outreach activities. This month, I'm going to skip that part. Oh, maybe I'll say it. This month, we share the plate with our minister's discretionary fund. Don't think they're given to the minister's discretionary fund goes in my pocket. It does not. It goes inside. Sometimes we have members who are in need. If you give and they ask, I can give. If you don't give and they ask, I may not be able to help. So give, and it will come back to you. Press down, shake it
Come on
together,
now.
and running over.
All right now.
That's a song.
Yes, it is.
Yes. So when you give joyfully, and know that it will come back to you. Press down, shaking together, and running over. And the rest of that is, will men give unto you?
Yes.
Don't think it's going to come raining down from heaven. No, it will come from one another.
So true.
So when you give, know that, just like he said, we know it. What goes around comes around. You reap what you sow.
Come on.
We know all of those different sayings because they're true. So give, and give generously and gratefully. Let it be in your hearts. We invite you, if you are a visitor with us today, to please place your visitor card that you have completely filled out inside of the offertory baskets. If you wrote nice and legibly, you will hear from us. If you wrote sloppy, don't complain if nothing happens. Okay, our offering will now be taken and gratefully received. I think we
Okay. Okay, thank you.
love you guys.
Thank you for the opportunity to serve. Truly. Thank you. Yeah, for trusting me with your pulpit. That's a big, big thing. I don't take it for granted, okay? All right.
Peace in our hands, peace in our lives, peace in our lands. Peace unto you, peace unto me, peace unto all the world's family. So many people have helped shape our lives, striving for the truth. They have lived and died. We remember their faces, their names. We strive to continue what they strive to gain. Peace in our hearts, peace in our lands, peace in our lives, peace in our lands. Peace unto you, peace unto me, peace unto all the world's family. We shall overcome. We shall We shall Deep in my heart, I do believe we shall We shall overcome. We shall overcome. We Glory, glory. Peace unto you, peace unto me, peace unto all the Wow.
After the closing words, we will all be heard singing Lift Every Voice.
Fast with the closing words so we can sing again. And we do thank you for your generous offerings that you shared with us today. Excuse Excuse me. Thank you, Tropical Storm. Outstanding as usual. You know, those guys get up here and show off. Yes! And we love it, love it, love it. In appreciation, we thank our guest today, the Reverend Dr. Ron Archer, for his inspiring message, Tropical Storm for their outstanding performance, our choir, All Voices Choir, and our Director of Music, Carlos Garcia, and all the others, everyone who contribute to make our services wonderful and magnificent. And so now we'll call my sweetheart Carol, Latino, comes forward. I would ask you to please join in reciting the words in your order of service as we extinguish the chalice. We warmth of community or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts and out into the world. Please join us in the social hall immediately following service and enjoy a conversation, coffee, cookies, and ice cream. Yum, yum, yum. Right behind you, just turn around and partake. Have a wonderful and blessed day.
Number 149, lift every voice and sing. Please rise. Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven sing. Ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let all rejoicing rise high as the listening skies. Let every sound loud as the rolling sea. Sing a song full of the faith that the dark has destroyed. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has taught us. Facing our rising sun of our new day begun. Let us march on till victory is won. Stony the road we trod, bitter the chastening rod, felt in the days when hope unborn has died. Yet with our steady beat have not our weary feet, cling to the place for which our fathers rode. We have come over a way that the tears have been watered. We have come treading a path tottered. Out of the gloomy past of now we stand at last, where the white gleam of our bright star is cast.
Let us leave this place with renewed vigor, optimism, and hope, knowing that the mountaintop is for those who understand if it was smooth, we couldn't climb it. So climb high, climb well, but knowing one thing, if you get to the top and you're by yourself,